Your profile is a very important part of getting people to know who you are and recognize all of the things you have accomplished in your niche. You must have an enchanting profile because when people decide whether to follow you or not, they always look at your profile. They look at the words you have written to use to describe yourself. They look at your avatar and they look at your background. So basically, those are all the things that make up a profile. But in order to have an enchanting profile that when people view it, they want to follow you, then you really have to optimize these three parts of your overall profile so that more people, when they look at it, will want to follow you. So here are some of the things that I do for my social media account. I have a bio where I simply list all of my credentials as well as some of the hobbies. I mentioned I'm a runner and that I love dogs. And I've had many interactions with people just because of those two things that I mentioned in my bio. And then I mentioned all the things that I use to boost the credibility that I have in my niche. So those would be 17-year-old entrepreneur, author, blogger, digital marketing expert, instructor, speaker, and Hootsuite ambassador. So that's what you do in your bio. You basically give an idea of who you are on a professional standpoint, but you also give people an idea of some of your hobbies and some of the things that you like. And then there's the avatar. You need to have an avatar, which is just a picture of you or your company's logo that is clear, that looks professional, or allows people to get on the personal side of who you are and what you do. But you must have a bold avatar in which you're looking directly at the person. You're not looking at a phone. There's no selfie mode or anything like that. You're looking directly at camera because then that will translate to you looking directly at the person in the avatar. And then there is, well, Twitter calls the header. Other social networks call it the background, where what you can do is you can get people to know more about you and some of the services that you provide. So here's what I do for my header. I reestablish my expertise and I gain instant credibility when I mention I am a teenager entrepreneur, digital marketing expert, and author. At the left, I give exposure for my free ebook, 27 Ways to Get More Retweets on Twitter, which people can get for free by subscribing to my blog via the landing page. And I have a pinned tweet that promotes this ebook. So it's very hard to miss when people view my profile. Then I have a slogan/message that I go by. There are no limits to success, not even age. I really believe in this message because as a 17-year-old who is proving the message as a personal example, I believe that no matter how young or old anyone is, that person and you can become successful in anything you want to become successful in. And then I include a motivational message on the right, thrive, with an exclamation point. Because by including motivational messages, you make the person feel empowered. And they will come back to you for that sense of empowerment that they get each time they look at your account. And that will build the relationship between you and your followers. Relationships are really important in social media marketing. I mean, social media marketing is not just about marketing, throwing a product out there, throwing a blog post out there saying, here it is. It's about building all of the relationships as well that lead to people reading your blog post, subscribing, telling their friends about you, buying your products, and doing all of the things you would want people to do when creating a social media strategy. So that's what the motivational message is there for. And it gives people a further idea of who I am because I'm a very motivational person. I like to keep people upbeat. So thrive, exclamation point, that is something I would say not just on social media but anywhere because I like to motivate and empower others. So one thing very important about your background is the dimensions of the picture. And each social network has its different set of dimensions for avatars, backgrounds, headers, and all of these different things that can really impact the way it looks. You don't want to choose a picture too big because some of the important stuff may get cut off of that picture. You don't want to choose a picture too small because then it'll have to get resized to fit the screen, and then it may not look the exact way you wanted it to look. So at the bottom of this lecture is a report in which I basically share with you all of the image dimensions that you need to use for avatars and backgrounds for various social networks. And you can use Canva or Keynote, and if you use Microsoft, you can use PowerPoint to create the pictures. Because Canva, Keynote, and PowerPoint allow you to resize the picture. Well, for Keynote and PowerPoint, you resize the slide. But by resizing the picture, you are able to get the exact size that you want so that the picture looks incredible and enchanting when you actually put it up on your social media account. You want to really nail down these picture dimensions. You don't have to memorize these. I'm not going to test you on what's the dimensions of a Twitter header, because I wouldn't necessarily know that all the time, because I've done the header already. It looks nice, and it's something that you don't really need to know as much. So I'm just going to include all of the dimensions at the bottom of this lecture so that you have one source where you can find all of the dimensions. And even if you forget the dimensions, if you decide, oh, I want a new Twitter header, you can always come back to the report, which will include those dimensions. That is all for this lecture. I hope it has served you. And what I want you to do is to dream big, achieve greatness, and unlock your potential today.